All right, I want to take a look at multiplying fractions, help us out just a little bit. Okay, when we multiply fractions, first off, let's start simple. Let's just go, maybe, make sure the pen works. Let's take 2/3, let's take it times, I don't know, 4/5. All right, so the rules and the guide that I want you to use is this. When we take a look at multiplying fractions, you ought to have as soon as you see multiplying and we see things in numerator, denominator, our numerator times our numerator, or tops times tops, bottoms times bottoms, and it's, of course, it's a fraction, and we look to reduce. All right, and how that applies is a couple different ways. Okay, there's always loopholes to some of this stuff. So let's go back. Tops times tops. So all we're going to do is take 2 times 4. We're going to get 8. Bottoms times bottoms. So 3 times 5, and we get 15. And then we look to reduce. So that was fairly simple. This guy doesn't reduce. There's no factors of 3 or 5 that are in 8. So that guy is simplified. All right, so if we make it just a little bit more difficult here, let me get another page here. No, not that way. This way. Okay, so let's do a problem here where we get maybe another proper fraction, 4 times 9, and times, we give it a different symbol, but it still means to multiply. Let's go 18, and let's go, I don't know, let's go 16, whatever, right? Okay, so we got an improper fraction here, but it'll still serve the purpose. It's still tops times tops, bottoms times bottoms. Well, I already don't know what 4 times 18 is. However, if I can reduce within the problem sitting right here, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So what I look for is anything divided by something else. What's the greatest common factor that comes out of this guy? So if I look at this, I look at 9. Well, I know that 18 over 9 is 2. So if I divide down here by 9, I get 1. If I divide up here, I get 2. If I go over here, I can take a 4 out of the 4. I can divide 4 out of the 16. When I divide 4 by 4, I get 1. When I divide 16 by 4, I get 4. And then you still look here. This guy's 1, which is great, but that guy reduces again. So you look to reduce everywhere you can, a top to bottom kind of thing. I can take a 2 out of here. I get 1. I can take a 2 out of the 4, and I get 2. So now I'm taking a 1 times a 1, which gets me 1. I take a 1 times a 2, which is 1/2. So I really don't have to know what 4 times 18 is, 9 times 16, and then try to reduce that guy. I can reduce it within the problem there. All right. So hopefully that helps us just a little bit with mixed numbers, or excuse me, proper fractions. This guy was a proper or an improper fraction, but it still works the same because I have a definite top and a definite bottom, which actually is a nice segue into multiplying by mixed numbers. So when we multiply by mixed numbers, a mixed number, as you recall, is just a whole number and a proper fraction. Our rules on multiplying mixed numbers is still the same. So it's tops times tops, bottoms times bottoms, and reduce. Now you think, oh, how does that work? Well, the middle number, or the whole number in this case, doesn't work to a top or a bottom, but it does work within that problem. So if I take a look, let's say I've got 3 1/4, right? And I'm going to take it times 2. Fair enough, right? So I'm going to take 3 1/4 times 2. Well, the rules say I'm multiplying. I've got a fraction sitting here. So it's tops times tops, bottoms times bottoms. So in this case, the 3 has an issue. I've got to make it a definite top or bottom. Well, if I change it back to its improper fraction form, the denominator stays the same. 4 times 3 is 12, and 1 is 13. So 3 1/4 is the same value as 13/4 times. Okay, so now I have just a whole number. So where's my fraction? Well, as you recall, anything divided by 1 is that number. Okay, so I do have a fraction here, and this guy stays as 2 over 1. Now I have tops times tops and bottoms times bottoms. and then I look to reduce. And in this particular problem, I'm actually going to reduce first. I can take that 4, I can reduce it by 2, I can divide that 2 by 2. When I do, I get a 1 here, I get a 2 there. Tops times tops now is 13. Bottoms times bottoms, or 2 times 1, is 2. Now, things you got to remember is if your book or your answers, your teacher solution set may not give this to you as 13, 2. You still have to be understood that this is 2 goes into 13 6 times with a remainder of 1. Either one of those values is going to be the same value. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which way you perform that or which way you produce that answer, it's still going to give you that value. Okay, I'd like to do one more because I have a lot of kids that love these things. Times, and let's go 3 and I don't know, 3/4. Okay, whenever I see a multiplication and I have a fraction, proper fraction, improper fraction, mixed number, they are all fractions. It's tops times tops, bottoms times bottoms. So I have to make it a definite top and a definite bottom. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 1 is 57, times my 4 stays the same, maintain that value of 4, that groupings of 4, times 3 is 12, and 15. Well, I kind of have an issue here because the numbers I picked, they just aren't so pretty. 57 looks like it's divisible by 3, but I can't get a 3 out of either one of those guys on the bottom. 15 appears divisible by 3 and 5. On the bottom, my only factor that comes out of those guys is 2. So it really doesn't work very well. But what that tells me is, though, that when I go tops times tops, bottoms times bottoms, I get that answer. And, so what? Maybe we have to go 57 times 15. We can script that out over here. We get 35, which is carry the 3, 28, 57. And we get 5. What was that? 28, 7, 5, 1, 7, 8. Man, we got a big number here. 855. Well, let's make that green, shall we? 855. And that number doesn't reduce. And if you want to change that to a mixed number, you can. It'll still be the same value. And in my class, all I'm looking for is that number reduced. All right. Thank you.